What the heck is a pagella? I can't believe Juleka did this shocking thing to Rose. And Marinette, oh Marinette, she might be redeemable. Hey everyone, welcome to Anime Puffs. I'm your host Wiley. Today I'm going to be reviewing Guiltrip from Miraculous Ladybug Season 4. So if you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Share if you care, and please follow me on all socials. I'm mostly on Instagram and TikTok. Thank y'all, let's get to it. So y'all, it feels good to be back. I took a little break from Miraculous because some of y'all know from my live stream that I wasn't feeling a couple of the episodes. However, it's beginning to get better, so y'all know I'm all about accountability. And if the show is becoming better, I'm going to review it, or at the very least give it a chance. Guiltrip for me was an okay episode. I think it was very heartfelt. I watched it, I believe, in Spanish. And I also watched it in English. I prefer the English version better for this episode. I kind of slightly feel like certain things got lost in translation. But overall, this was a good episode, and it did a really good job at making Marinette more likable. And we also got a lot of Juleka Rose action in this episode, so I'm happy about that. So the episode starts off in Marinette's class. Rose has a headache and has to go to the nurse's office, and Marinette escorts her, so that was nice. That's very sweet and very kind of Miss Class President Marinette. So next we cut to the cafeteria where everyone is having lunch, and Juleka gets a text message, and she is visibly upset by this message. Marinette makes a joke towards her, and she begins to cry. And Marinette chases after her, trying to comfort her, but she cannot catch up to Juleka and can't find her because Juleka is now hiding. As she typically does. This is like typical Juleka because she is just so shy. But I understand her. Sometimes when I'm upset, I like to be alone as well, so that was very relatable.
Juleka, if you give Mr. Mealy your big tasty energy pack lunch, Hetty might pay you a visit too. Juleka, I was just trying to make a joke. No, Juleka!
And of course, since Juleka is upset, Hawkmoth sends an Akuma, and I'm just like, yo. So this dude really has no limits. Like we saw in the Chat Blanc episode, sorry if I say that wrong, y'all, but we saw in that episode how he was willing to Akumatize his own son. So why is Juleka crying over Rose any different? Tis tis tis, Hawkmoth, you are a terrible person. Adrien arrives at school, bumps into Marinette, and helps her find Juleka. So that was very nice of him, and that's him taking more initiative. Like, I ended up watching a couple of the other Miraculous Ladybug episodes, and they were really good, so that's why I'm reviewing the show again. And I see slight character development in Adrien, so I'm really liking it. He's really stepping up a little bit. Although Cat Noir's kind of been missing throughout the season, but conversation for a later date. Marinette thinks she said something wrong to Juleka. I was kind of happy in this moment because as we saw in season 3, at times Marinette can be very mean. So I'm happy that she's being more conscious of the things that she says and how it affects people. So I think that's lovely. Somehow the whole class ends up finding Juleka. And Juleka basically explains to everyone that Rose is sick, and she has been sick since she was smaller. And at any point in time, the sickness can come back. And of course, the class promises not to tell Rose and not to treat her any different, and they comfort Juleka. So while I did think this moment was very sweet, I knew that it wasn't going to go well. Most of the time it's just not okay to let someone's medical history out, so that wasn't cool. But I can understand that Juleka is young, she didn't know any better, and I like that this episode talked about that. So Rose ends up coming back to school and she hugs Juleka. What I'm noticing this season is that we are seeing more Rose and Juleka action, so they're making it a little less subtle that Rose and Juleka are together. And since Rose is back in class, everyone begins to dote over her, and Juleka starts to get nervous because it's so obvious that they know. So she is nervous that Rose is gonna figure out and be upset with her. And of course, later on, Rose eventually does find out that there is something wrong with Juleka, and Juleka confesses to her. Juleka tells her that she told the class, and Juleka feels a lot of guilt for what she did. Rose becomes worried that the class will not treat her the same, but comforts Juleka. Rose lets Juleka know that it's not Juleka's fault, and that it's actually her fault for telling Juleka and putting all the pressure on Juleka to keep her secret. For me, this goes two ways because it's like, Yes, it's Rose's responsibility to be very careful about the information that she shares, because information can travel. But at the same time, even though Juleka wanted what was best for Rose, Rose had asked her to keep her medical history a secret, so it wasn't right for Juleka to share it unless it's under different circumstances. So that was like a very messy situation. Rose ends up talking to the class and tells them that she doesn't want them to feel sorry for her, and they agree. But when she sneezes, everyone tries to help her, and this is like classic Miraculous from season 1 and season 2, like just dramatics and silliness. I was so here for it. Like, I love seeing Marinette get into action and seeing everyone rush to help Rose. That was so sweet. Rose gets upset that everyone is panicking and overreacting. Juleka runs away, upset and feeling guilt. And I'm not going to get into the whole scene, like the whole battle scene, I guess, or but Ladybug ends up saving the whole entire class along with Rose, aka Pigella, because Rose ends up using the Pig Miraculous, which has a special power of jubilation. Okay, so I'm just gonna let y'all know my takeaways. So we didn't get much Cat Noir action this episode, which I was kind of sad for. Cat Noir is just so funny, so I'm kind of missing the humor, but I do like a lot of other things about the show so far. So I love the Rose and Juleka action. I love how strong Juleka and Rose's relationship is and how they're there for each other. I love the fact that Nino and Max have a new voice actor. I'm here for it. I love it. I love how Rose is now disabled representation, so that's great. I love how Adrian is now standing up to Chloe. I'm here for it. He checked her in this episode. Yes, finally. We've been waiting for this. And I like that Ladybug gives Juleka a charm to protect her and prevent her from being akumatized again. So now we don't have to worry about that ugly reflector outfit being shown to us again, because I'm tired. And I love how Rose yeeted herself, refusing to allow Juleka to be alone once Juleka is akumatized. It just shows how determined she was to save her friend. But ultimately, I am happy with the way that this new season is going. So far, so good, but I do need some Cat Noir, or I do need some comedy. That's what's missing, the comedy and the romance. But we'll see how this goes. But this season so far is redeeming itself. So in the sub version, it kind of felt like the episode was centered around Juleka as opposed to Rose, who's actually the sick one, so that bothered me. But in English, it just appeared to be more about Rose and Juleka's relationship and friendship, and more about showcasing Rose as a strong and empowered young woman. So I like the English version better. But sometimes the sub is good though, just not for this particular episode. But thank you all so much for watching. What did you think about the episode? Did you enjoy it? Do you think Miraculous is slowly but surely redeeming itself? Or do you think they have more work to do? And how did you feel about Pigella's costume? Please let me know. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye, y'all. Follow me on social media. Bye.